Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a disassembly I wanted to do for you guys. Just want to check out the Berg Blades Alpha and see what's on the inside, and maybe throw skiffs in. We'll see. Get you guys some measurements if anybody's looking to put skiffs in it. And this bad boy is actually dropping today. It should be available when this video goes up. I'm recording it 20 minutes before the drop. So they drop at 11 a.m. on Thursday, the 13th of February. And you can pick it up at bergblades.com or one of their dealers. I would recommend traditionalpocketknives.com. I do have a link, and it does help the channel if you use that link. So that's up to you guys. But price should be the same either way. You're looking at $315 to $335, I believe, depending on the version. There are frame locks like so. There are liner locks that look really cool. I wasn't able to get my hands on one before the drop, but they look unique and awesome. Digging those. And then there's lefties, which is what this is. I believe there's just this version, which is the plain titanium with the belt satin, but that's perfectly fine with me. It's a really good knife. Check out my video from earlier this week or last week where I unboxed it and went over the whole knife. My nitpicks on the knife, my one criticism on the knife is the clip being very tight, and it's kind of low to the frame. So your material, it's hard to get it all the way onto your pocket. And I think that was it for critiques. I mean, it's a bigger knife. It's larger than my usual kind of knife, but that's a personal preference type of thing. I've spent a week or so with it now, and I really enjoy it. The action's great. Before we get into the disassembly, you'll see it is dead centered. There's no movement. Oops. Detent is very good. Reverse flick's excellent. So anything that happens is my fault and not the knife's fault, I would say. Don't feel any movement, maybe a little bit of movement there on the pivot. Skiffs would shore that up, I'm sure. Really nice contoured frame. I really like this knife. It's fantastic. I'd love to see a mini of it, a mini alpha, or I don't know if you would call it a beta. It is part of the Tick family. So the Tick, I believe, is a little bit smaller, but they don't seem identical to me. And I'm not sure if we did have a small version of this, like the Mutt, but that was made by I believe. So a Riot made one would be sick. Basically just a shrunken down version of this, with, I was going to say more milling, but there is milling in here. It's not super deep. We'll look at that when we take it apart. So it's got a little bit of heft to it, but that's kind of the point. This is a big knife, and it's meant to be that way. I'll do a quick size comparison, and then we can get into it. So I have a Tempest Jetstream. It's a 3.5-inch knife. So you can see here we have a little bit more blade length. So you're around 3.7, 3.75. And a little bit more handle length, so the blade to handle ratio is done really well on this guy. Nice lock bar access, nice chamfer there. I don't know if I mentioned that in my first video. Really like the taper up here, so that when you get into like a pinch grip, it feels nice and comfortable. The jimping is very aggressive, so take that into consideration. But let's get into it. Looking like a T15. On the pivot, you can see here I have a T8, and yeah, that's a little bit too small. So let's see, this is a T10. That might be right. Yeah, I don't think a T15 would work. So I'm just gonna try finger pressure. That did work. So I just put my thumb back here, or my index finger back here, to put a little bit of resistance on it, and that came out. It's also captive, so that obviously helps. I thought it was a spinning situation. We got some oil there, but that is normal. We'll clean that up. This is a T6. We'll throw a T8 in here. And we can get it apart Oh, that's a stiff bar. Now these are on a barrel, so you might need the old finger bit to take these out. Might be easier, honestly. So if you just put your finger bit in one side, lock that down, and then on this side you use your driver, and it will keep that in place so you don't have any spinning situation. I think they put a little bit of Loctite. No, they're just nicely secured. You can pick up your finger bit. See, there it is, dropped out with the barrel on it and everything. Okay, all right. So those could probably go in either way, I assume. Well, they look a little different. No, they won't fit through this side. Nice machining. So the barrels with the screws will go in this way. It does make it easier. You don't have to put them in, stack them, you know. So yeah, the finger bit and the test fit card that we're gonna use are from Skiff Workshop, skiffworkshop.com. You can pick up your finger bit and your test fit card there, and you can also pick up your Skiff bearings, of course. Use my code LeftyEDC. That'll save you 10% on your order. It does help me out too, but that's up to you. It saves you 10%, so probably should use it, but you know. Yeah. And this will get us the size we need, which is really cool. I'll show you that in a second. I just need to wiggle this off here. So it's off the pivot. It's kind of just binding up back here. And I'm wondering, shouldn't be, there's no barrels in there. What's holding that in? I wonder if the clip, let me just check if the clip screw goes through T8. You would think it would just go into that first scale. See if this one's, no. All right, just checking, because I don't want to be prying on it if we had a screw still in there. So I think what I need to do is just grab one of my little pry bars here. I got these on Amazon. They're for car dashboard kits, so you can pop out the plastic dash stuff and not mark it all up. I got these when I was putting in my Apple CarPlay thing in my truck. This sucker, oh, sucker's on there. It's really good to have something like this around. You don't always want to be prying on stuff, but it does come in handy because sometimes you just get stuck. Stuff's on there really good. There was a pin in there, a stability pin, which is awesome. Sorry, I just wanted to finish my coffee. Got my Jack Wolf Knives mug. By the way, the Primo Jack drops tomorrow. I'm hoping to have a video up for that tomorrow for the drop. I'm a little behind this week. My baby son is having a rough week. He had double pink eye, and then now I think the vaccines he got are giving him a fever. He's had a fever for like 2 days. So we have not been sleeping, and he has not been feeling good. So pardon me if I'm a little off. So here's our pivot. Give it a D shape. What I love about this pivot design is the D shape is on the very end. It only goes into the scale. So where the blade travels, there's no D shape. And I actually think that's the best way to do a D shape, because you don't have any flat spots for that blade to rotate on, which I believe could cause a little bit of a lash, or it could cause some action, like maybe it makes it feel less smooth because you're not on a perfectly round surface there. So we have the bearing tracks already really into the blade there, so that makes me question whether I want to put multi-row bearings in here, because it looks like I could. Looks like I could put multi-rows in here. So we might test those, but you can tell by, now this is the part where the test fit card only goes so far. Okay, I need to talk to Steve about making something that'll help identify the outer diameter too, because that is part of it when you're getting bearings. So if you look at this, This is going to fall into the 1/16 hole, right? So we have 1/16 ball, and then we're going to have a 6mm pivot, right? So we know that we need 6mm 1/16 bearings, but I will demonstrate why that can be tricky. And I've actually had some people lately have this issue. They hit me up and they're like, hey man, I got the test fit card, I got the 6mm 1/16 bearings, but they don't seem to fit right. And it's because there's 3 different kinds of 6mm 1/16. So let's get them all out here and I'll show you the differences. Some of you guys know this, but just bear with me here. There's one. Now I need the multi-rows. So here's the other, and then there's one more. Where are you? That's the same one. Oh, uh-oh. Am I out of them? I seriously doubt it. Let's check our backup stash. What's this? Do I have another backup stash? Hold on. Okay, yeah, these are the ones I'm looking for. I have a stash of just a certain size. So you'll see here, this says 6mm 1/16, and then you want to look at the ball count or the OD. So 18 ball, that's the one I have on the table already. 18 ball, what I'm looking for is 16 ball, and there's a reason for that. They're slightly different. How do I not have those? That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, wait, no. Here, give me a second. I'm going to look for them so you don't have to watch. Okay, so I actually don't have the size I need, which is interesting. That's a first. But, so basically... Oh, wait, they're right here. I'm such a dummy. Okay. So these are the ones that I'm looking for. Look, 16 ball, 6mm 1/16. So the ones I need are the regular ones. Okay. One more second. Okay, perfect. They were right on top. I was gonna say, it would be very rare that I don't have the size that I need in skiffs. So, all right, let us regroup here, Kev. So, these are the 3 sizes that you'll see in 6mm 1/16. You'll have the regular size, which is a single row, and it's 6mm 1/16 13 ball, and it's 0.420 outer diameter. Okay, you'll see the internal diameter is 0.238, and that's the same on all of these, right? So then you have a 16 ball, same 6mm 1/16, but now we have 16 balls. We have multi-row, and we have 0.466. Then we have a 18 ball, 0.492. So the way this came to be is these were the original ones for 6mm 1/16 bearings like this. Then CKF started making the Evos and whatnot, and Skiff made these for those 18 ball, multi-row, fantastic bearings. Then I worked with Skiff on this because there was a lot of us that had Brian Brown Knives Jaeger M's. And he used a large size bearing like this. So this is a Riot 6mm 1/16. I think I've seen these with Kaiser as well, but they're black, similar size. And they're a bit larger than the standard 13 ball ones. There's still, I think, more balls over here, but you can see how much smaller the actual bearing is. So I had the idea that why not try to fit multi-row bearings in there and get the effect that you get with the 18 ball ones in here. So I sent Skiff the bearings. I sent him a bunch of measurements. I don't know if I sent him a Jaeger. I don't know. And he came up with these. So they have 2 less balls than the 18s. But they're multi-row, and they have, you know, a few extra balls. There's only 3 extra balls than the single row, but you spread it out a little bit. You get better coverage with the ceramic balls, I think. And they fit into the pocket of this size bearing from that Riot uses on a lot of the larger knives they make. So it doesn't just fit the Jaeger, it fits the Arcform Slimfoot, it fits the Renegade Provisions Co. I believe it would fit the Gungnir and the God of Mischief here. And it fits some other knives as well, and I think it fits some Kaiser knives too. So there's 3 sizes. So when you get bearings for a knife like this, it can be a little tricky because you'll probably go, oh, I want 18 ball, right? Or you'll see the first one that pops up and order it. So you just need to be a little more cautious when it's a 6mm 1/16. That's really the only size where that happens. I think he does now make a 5mm 1/16 multi-rope, but I haven't seen any knives that take that larger size because the pocket on the blade or the handle, well, both, needs to accommodate the bearing, right? So you want to measure the outer diameter, or if you're like me, you can just gauge it based on experience, or you could just try to gauge it on the knife. So if it's a Riot knife, a larger knife like this from Riot, then it's probably going to be the 16 ball. If it's a CKF, it's, you know, most likely going to be the 18 ball. And if you're smart, I would just get all 3, and then you have them. And when you need them, you got them. That's kind of my method with skiffs. I just make sure I have a stock of everything and go from there. So anyway, that is an explanation on the bearings. We'll go ahead and give the multi-row 16 ball a shot here. But the one concern I had, I mentioned earlier, also when in doubt, this size, the 13 ball, will always fit. I've never had a knife with 6mm 1/16 where this did not fit. So if you want to just not spend the extra money to stockpile everything, just get the 13 ball. Yes, you're going to lose a little bit of, you know, you're going to spread that weight or that pressure a little less, and maybe it'll be a little less smooth. It's still going to be fantastic. It's still going to be better than this. So if that's, you know, you're just trying to spend 13 bucks, just get the 13 ball, and you'll never not have them fit, if that makes sense. So let me put all these away and stop jibber jabbering over here, and we can get to work, huh? So the concern I had was, you can see here, there's a clear ball mark already. There's a track from the ceramic balls in the pocket already. And on the washer, now what I usually do is I take a magnet, pop that washer out, and I flip it over. And now I have a fresh side that I can put my multi-rows on. Now, obviously, I cannot do that with the blade. So we'll have to see if it causes any issues, if it makes it feel a little bit jumpy or anything. Because if you have balls going in and out of the track that's already there, it might not work out too well, but we'll see. Going to use my Q-tips here. Just want to mention again real quick. Oh, left-handed, I always forget. These are Q-tips you can get on Amazon, and they're a lot cheaper than the ones you can get from like KPL. And I'll try to put a link down below. These are the best ones I found because they come in this cool container where you can actually like turn, and then you can shake one or two out or whatever. And then you can close it back up. And you can just keep this on your desk like that, which is pretty cool. And they're really cheap. I think it was like $7. And I got 4 or 5. I think I got 5 of these. So you get 500 for like $8 or something. And they come in a regular size and a mini with a smaller tip. So just want to mention that. You can always just search whatever that is, Lamiere micro applicator. That'll probably pull it up on Amazon. All right, let me get some alcohol up in here. Clean this up. So my washer fall out, don't worry, I caught that. think we did wipe this a little bit. That's pretty much all we need to clean. So we can get back into it here. So I'm going to take a little bit of KPL and just drop that down here. Oops. Because these are falling out and I don't want them to. So that'll keep them in, or it should anyway. Okay. I think I got a little bit in the stop pin track. Not sure that matters, but. All right, so the pivot, I didn't clean that either. So I just clean the outside of it, and then since it's a larger one like this that I can manipulate a little easier, sometimes the smaller ones, it's easier to clean them when they're in the knife, but I can just put it like that, and then take a T8 and kind of spin that cloth in there. And then you'll see maybe a little schmutz comes out. Oops, not much. And then we have the pivot screw. And we'll do the same thing. I'll just pinch it and grab my T15 here, or T10. And do that. Clean any dirt off of there. And we are good to go. So first thing I want to do to make it easy on myself, and this is going to suck, by the way, it's the one downside with this system, is put these little barrels in that has the body screws on them already. And the reason this sucks is, are either of these longer? Nope, they're the same size. Is that when you flip it over, oh, those are the body screws. When you flip it over, those are going to want to fall out. Let me just double check these. Does look like one is longer than the other there, if you look at the clip screws. So I have to figure out which one goes where. If I look at the knife, I believe the shorter one goes on top, because you can see there's it hits where the backspacer is. So I'm guessing if I take the shorter one, put it on top, tighten that down, we're coming up right where that backspacer is. Let's see if this one comes up more flush. Yep. I don't think it would honestly matter if you reverse them on accident, but maybe. So now I got to flip this over without letting these fall out. That's the hard part. There. Okay, and the clip is over there, so the clip kind of lifts it off a little bit and makes those want to fall out. So the first thing I'm going to do is put those body screws in a little bit, I think, just to shore those up. So now I'm going to take a little bit of KPL and get these bearings oiled up. I'm going to get them loosened up a little bit. They feel a little bit bound. Nah, they're good. And I already made a mistake. I did not put the pivot in. So get these all oiled up. This is how I like to do it, so the oil gets on there evenly. I'm not worrying about, did I put the oil in, you know, it's not running everywhere and that kind of stuff. So probably just take a cloth and clean this out a little bit. And then drop this in, and then hold down here, flip this over, and you can see those barrels want to come out. It's super annoying. I probably should have just left the clip off, honestly, but we'll see. I'm going to put one of the bearings in, like so. You'll see it fits perfectly. And then I just want to check where the D shape is. It's on the bottom. So I need to lift this all up again. Those things come out. I need to turn this to the bottom. And then I need to put these back in. This is why they're annoying. I'd much rather have the barrel on the inside, even though you have to stack it a little differently in assembly. It's way easier when you're putting the knife together like this. So then we drop this guy on. And we put that on, okay? So we got everything on. We're gonna put this on. Lift everything up. Hang on a second, someone's at my door. All right, sorry, we had a package from Geeone/Reich knife, cool. All right, so I got the body screws in. I still have to tighten them, but. And then the pivot, this is all very straightforward stuff, like that, shut it. All right, now we're gonna check everything. I'm gonna get the finger bit out and tighten these down. So I'm just gonna, is that in there? What's going on here? There. I was wondering, like, what's going on? It didn't want to tighten these screws. It was a little weird. Yeah, it was just spinning because of the barrel. So you got to use a finger bit or something to tighten these back down. They were easy to get out, interestingly enough. Make sure I think I was cross-threading there, okay. If you ever feel like you're cross-threading, if it feels too hard to tighten something, it's probably cross-threading. So what you want to do is actually rotate the screw counterclockwise until you can hear it kind of click. It'll basically come out of the thread and then click into place where it's supposed to go. Once you hear that kind of pop or click, then you can rotate clockwise and it should thread perfectly from there. All right, so we got that. Let us check. We are dead centered, which is awesome. Give her a flick. Fires out. That felt great. See if we have any play. No play, no rock. It's a bank vault, figured. See if it drops at all. It drops. Oh, holy shit. You hear that click, guys? That is impressive. That was, I think that was just a byproduct of cleaning the knife. Oh my God, that sounds so much better. It sounded good before, but that click is phenomenal. Woo-hoo. Yeah, we actually have a little less movement when closed. It didn't have lash, it just had, it's hard to explain when you have a stronger detent. Sometimes it can move around a little bit. It's just like as the ball is coming out of the detent hole, but it seems to be in there a little snugger now, maybe because I cleaned out the detent hole with that Q-tip. But yeah, this is, I didn't think it was gonna get better, but it did. It is better. And I didn't even, forgot to oil the detent ball. So let's do that real quick. And it might get even better. And then we got to Loctite it, of course. I think I am going to pass this around. You know, there might be some righties interested. I know I have a buddy who's left-handed that was going to pick one of these up. And I told him I would send him mine, because he was in between a lefty and getting a liner lock. Hopefully they're still available when he decides, but I figured he could check this out. Okay. Man, that click is just a beautiful thing. All right, I hope it's still there after we take out the pivot and put it back in, because we're gonna test the, well, I don't think we need to, guys. I don't think it's gonna walk. I mean, that was a lot of tension just now I had to use to check how tight it was. So I think I'm gonna leave it. I'm not even gonna Loctite it, and we'll see if it loosens over time. Then we'll apply the glue if we need to. Well, maybe I'll just take it out and put a little dab of Loctite on it. I mean, look at this. That takes quite a bit of effort to just remove from there. But you can see there is some oil in there. So I'm gonna clean this out. I don't know, maybe that's just schmutz that was already there. Clean the screw real quick. Then I'll take some Loctite. If you guys need Loctite, definitely pick it up at OrionKnives.com. Blade Banter is the YouTube channel. He also runs Orion Knives. Very affordable knives if you need any. If you're looking for anything very affordable. And this is basically Vibertite 242, I think it is. It's the oil tolerant kind. And he puts it in this bottle. It's like $5 for this giant bottle. And it comes, I confirmed it because I'll show you. I bought one. Give me a sec. I bought a bunch of these applicators because I bought a backup bottle of Loctite because I figured I was running low. And these are so cheap. I mean, it's like $7 and I got all these to replace this. But he actually sends it with the applicator now. So you get this applicator, and it even comes with a nice rubber cap, which is the biggest issue I have, is you never have a cap. So he even figured out the right gauge so it doesn't clog up, even though that is pretty thin. I have to use this thicker one so it doesn't clog, but I think he tells you to lay it on the side. So he tells you to lay it down so that it doesn't clog. I like to keep mine upright in a thing, so that might be why this works if you lay it down. But it's really nice that he gives you that rubber cap, because believe it or not, stuff leaking like that is super annoying. So you get all this for $5 on his website, and he sells these things. I picked up a few of these. They're dirt cheap, guys. They're like $10-15. And they hold 4 knives. They fit, comes with this big cloth. It fits perfectly in a USPS priority box. And it's a nice zip pouch if you pass knives around or you're going on a trip or whatever. I mean, 10 or 15 bucks for these. Go check out any other pouch that holds knives like this. They're stupid expensive. So you can get all that on their website. I'm not sponsored by them. I bought all this stuff. David's just a good dude. He also has been the QSP rep for a long time. So you'll see him at shows at the QSP booth. So I'm just putting a dab here of Loctite on the screw. And this $5 bottle will last you forever. I mean, I probably still have half of this bottle. I just was like, I should get more. Or somebody asked me about it, so I went to the website and then I just ordered a bunch of stuff. And when I say a bunch, I spent like $40 and I got 3 pouches and a thing of Loctite. Okay, tighten that down. Centering looks perfect to me. No lash. Detent again, feels great. No play, no rot. I mean, this thing is a freaking tank. Lock up, looks good. Swings. Ooh, even better than it was a minute ago because I put that oil in. I mean, I could probably tighten that pivot just a little more, even though I don't need to. There we go. Still swings. I mean, This is one of those knives where it's an unstoppable force. That blade just wants to come down. It's dead centered. So very cool. And the lefties, this is number 16 of 20. So there's not many of them. So if you're going for a lefty, I guess, you know, grab it quick. But they do have the liner locks that should work for a lefty. So hopefully that's a thorough breakdown for you guys. A little too thorough sometimes. Sorry, guys. And I'm definitely all over the place currently. So pardon that. But yeah, Matt over at Berg Blades, what a great job on this knife. I'd love to see a better clip, even if you could order some and then just sell them separately to replace this. I think a lot of people would appreciate that because we love the design. Just really want a more functional clip, to be honest. And I think he mentioned that he was working on something, or he had a updated clip that he wanted to have in production, but I don't know. I forget the story, but he's aware. So if there's more of these in the future, I'm sure they'll have a updated clip. But such a cool knife, regardless. Excellent ergos, good feel, great in hand and pocket. It's big, but for most people, I think it's a good size. I like smaller knives, but it's still manageable. I can carry it, and you know, I have carried it, used it. It cuts really well, and it has probably the best reverse flick I've felt in a while. It just is so intuitive to get my finger in there. The D10 is crisp as hell, and it just fires. And you have that whole fuller, so you don't have to worry about where you're putting your finger. If you have smaller hands and your finger ends up down here, or if you have larger hands and your finger ends up here, it doesn't matter. It's just blasting out of there regardless. And the blade will not be stopped. I mean, I've tightened that blade or that pivot, and it just keeps getting more and more droppy. I cranked it there. So let's see what happens now. I mean, it definitely slowed it down a little bit, but it's just going to keep breaking in those bearings and get even better. And I mean, I can't even imagine what this feels like. Yeah, it feels like a fixed blade. What a beautiful blade, too. It's one of my favorite blade shapes. Matt has a talent for designing a sexy-ass knife, I gotta say. So, I'm going to shut up now. I love you guys. Great job, Matt. Pick these up at Traditional Pocket Knives or Berg Blades. I'll link both down below. Use my link, and I would appreciate it, but your call. And let me know if you get one, what you think. I would love to hear about it. And that's it for me, guys. I love you. I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you later.